Good evening, everybody. I'm iJob. This is my host, Hickerbilly Short. And tonight we got Naughty Northern on here, and this is the Billy Bullshit Podcast.
What up, Naughty Northern?
Yeah. What's up, fellas?
Shit.
Chilling.
Trying to act like we weren't just talking for 45 minutes backstage and forgot to hit the record button.
So,
Dude, this is how it goes every time, too. We'll just be chopping it up backstage, forget to hit record, and then we hit the record, and it's like, so what do you guys want to talk about? Shit, tell us about yourself, Naughty Northern. I want to know, first of all, how'd you come up with the name Naughty Northern? Where'd that come from?
well, it was actually a collective of names. For one, I wasn't a good kid. I was a delinquent child. I was in and out
Feel
of,
that.
juvie and foster homes kind of thing. Um, so having a criminal past, kind of doing stupid shit, um, really kind of led into that as the idea behind that. And Minnesota kind of played a part in that, but also just kind of representing North America, I guess. Um, I Googled it to see if it was taken, and it wasn't, so it fit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, so you from Minnesota, where at?
I'm about 30 minutes out of the metro area, St. Paul. It's like right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota, so I'm like 10 minutes from the border,
Hell yeah.
Damn,
Mississippi and the
okay.
St. Croix River.
Okay. That's lit. Shit, man. So I know you do you do more than one genre, so I don't want to categorize you with just country rap. I know you do like a lot of like rock and country type shit, but focusing on the country rap, I want to know like how did you get into country rap? Like what drew you to kind of blend those two genres, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like a little niche genre.
Yeah. Um, I guess, years ago I started this business and was listening to artists like Yellow Wolf and Kid Rock and Jelly Roll, to name a few. Um, and there were a lot of inspiration as I was sitting here packaging and just kind of ordering products or stacking shelves or whatever around here, right? Um, they were inspiration, and I became business friends with some artists in the industry, and um, one thing led to another. I mean, I started helping. Actually, this is what one of the things that helped me get into music was Smo. Um,
No shit.
I was business partners with one of the Good Old Boys, and I was down there, and they had a EP that they were filming, and I was helping do some of the direction of their music videos at the Cannabis Cup that we were at there in Cali, and I was having a lot of fun just kind of directing the music video, because they were just having fun talking, catching up, and I seen that they really didn't know what to do with the video, but they wanted to shoot some video there, and I kind of stepped up and was like, "Hey, this would be a dope spot. Hey, over here would be a dope spot." Um, and being kind of a fan of the music, um, I fell in love with also the direction of behind the scenes with the music video stuff. And when I flew home that weekend is when I looked up the name to see if Naughty Northern had been taken, and I executed on it fast.
Hell yeah.
Hell
um,
yeah.
I brought up Smo because y'all were just talking with him. So,
Yeah, man. I fuck with Smoke. He's a real humble dude, man, for sure. And he's
yeah, I didn't
got
get
a
to catch
lot
most.
of dude, yeah, he's got a lot of wisdom on the game, dude. He went through and broke down the entire timeline all the way back to like the early thousands. Like details. It was a 5 hour. Normally when we do like interviews and shit, they don't go that long. And he had a lot to talk about, man. It was a 5 hour interview with Smo breaking down everything. Right up. He took it
Damn,
from like 2000. Actually, he took it from 99 all the way up to present day in detail. I
damn,
was just like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, it was cool as fuck. I had fucking like 4 pages of notes, dude. I learned so much from that shit.
that's
It was cool
good.
as hell.
No, he's definitely one of the pioneers of the genre, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
I think he doesn't get enough recognition for that. Um, and Twang and Round are absolutely one of those as well. They
Yep.
don't get that recognition either. Twang and Round are actually friends of mine. They're not just music partners that we've made music with. They're actually friends. Like I've slept at Round's house on his couch type shit, you know, and
Hell yeah.
like we've gone out to eat just, you know, as couples with his lady and my lady, and we've gone out to eat, and like there's that beyond music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Right.
I mean that's how me and Oddjob are, bro. He's the only one that's been to my mom's house and shit. I had him and his old lady out to my mom's, fucking having a bonfire. Like that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, no doubt.
exclusive. I've had a few people to my studio at my house and shit. You know what I mean? Other artists, but I don't take people out to my mom's house. So
Yeah, I stay the night at mom's house, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's my dog.
I job made it to the mom's house.
I did, and
Hell
she made
yeah.
some fire tacos. They were really good.
Because my mom's got, dude, that's where all the land and all the cool shit is. You know what I mean? So it's like go out there to have a good time. We can have a good time at my house, but I got a nice
It's
yard.
sacred also, you know.
It ain't nothing crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Hickory don't ever come to Ohio, you know, and my family homestead got sold
Well, I
off. So like,
fucking
we can
dude.
hang out in my quarter an acre backyard. That's about it. It's not even that. Fuck, it's probably an eighth of it.
Hey, that's okay. I lived in apartments
Hey,
my whole life, so that's fucking. I would have rather have been trailer trash than fucking
Right.
than lived in apartments, man. That shit was like jail to me my
I
whole existence.
see. I was the opposite, man. Just because I fucking grew up in some trailer park shit. You know what I mean? Like it was. I like the
I
apartments
mean,
better.
I
I
grew up
mean,
in a
I ain't gonna lie. I
trailer,
like the apartments better.
but
Yeah,
it was a
see,
trailer on
a,
a farm, you
a
know, with like a
trailer in the
permanent
woods is cool. I
foundation.
lived in one of
Yeah.
those too. Trailer in the woods, completely fuck cool with. I would buy a trailer in the woods right now, straight the fuck up. But in a trailer park, no, bro. I'm like,
Too many rules.
we can't talk about it. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I had lived in a
I'll
bad
tell you
apartment
later,
where.
odd job, and you'll be like, oh, yeah.
No, I hear that. The idea of having a trailer to me was like having your own little home. Where in an apartment you have to deal with people above you or below you or to the left of you, and
Yeah.
the apartments that I was living in particular, at one point in time in my life, in my early adulthood, just getting out on my own, um, it was like she was like a jail warden, and like they had these electric fob things where they could keep track of you coming and going at what door, and
What?
I'd have poker games late at night, and I remember I'd even sell like bags of weed out the back door and just meet people
Yeah.
out the back, or if I was letting a new poker player in and I was letting them in, she would know that. And I remember her asking me the next day, like, "What are you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning?" Like, bitch, fuck you. Does it matter? Like, and not that I was selling weed, but I was actually letting players in to play poker. But like, I could have been selling weed, and like she would have
Right.
fucking figured out about that because the door clicking and coming and going. So to me, it was like living in jail, and I could not wait to get out of that situation. And my
I
wife and I
bet.
finally we got our first house. We this July it'll be 10 years that we've been living there now.
Hell yeah.
Thanks to the business that I reside
Congrats,
in
bro.
right now. It grew from that apartment. We had a small little walk-in closet, and after my house had gotten raided for selling weed, I got put on felony probation. That whole 9 yards. Was on color code. Had to call a number every day and go take a piss every fucking week. And
See, I had to
that
do
shit.
all that, but I got my medical card. So fucking, the judge straight up said in open court, was like, my lawyer was like, Your Honor, my client has his medical marijuana card for this, this, and this. And the judge was like, for short, if you have your medical marijuana card, you can smoke as much weed as you want. I don't care. And I'm looking at my lawyer like, we got that shit on record, right? Because I'm running with that.
Michigan's different. In Ohio, bro,
Yeah.
if you're on parole, probation, like my brother, he asked about that when he was on fucking probation and shit. And they're like, no, you're not allowed to have a medical card while you're on probation. It's like an automatic fucking violation. They was going to arrest him. So he had to quit smoking for like 3 years, bro. It was horrible.
Damn. Yeah, it's up to the judge here. So, like, I have friends who are on probation in the same county with a different judge, and they got medical cards and can't smoke.
Yeah, that's
So I
fucked.
definitely got lucky on that because the judge I know too, you know what I mean? I know why. I won't blast it, but
This was about 15 years ago.
it's a small
Oh,
county.
yeah.
I mean, this was a long time ago. This is kind of when I just became like 21, 22, 23. And kind of got put back into the system for a little bit, and kind of that was it. Once I paid my little probation fees, I haven't had no run-ins with the law other than just getting pulled over here and there. But so that's my little pat on the back for being
bro.
a
Congratulate
good
yourself,
adult.
bro.
Same. I ain't been in no trouble in almost 5 years now. What's crazy
You got
is,
kids?
yeah,
You got 2 or 3 now?
3 now.
That's your
So
third one.
I got 2 at home, and then I got one that I see like summers and holidays because her mom lives in Florida, so she's down there during the school year and all that. But
Right on.
yeah, that's for my
Good
first
shit, man.
marriage. Hell yeah.
If you don't mind me asking you, fellas, how old are you guys?
I'm 30.
I'm 30. Yeah, 30.
Okay, so both of you just turned 30. All right. I feel old as fuck.
What are you like? 40?
I'm gonna be 39 in July.
Okay.
You still
But I
look
still
30
feel
I
though.
would have guessed. Yeah, I would have guessed you're the same age as us. To be honest, bro.
Yeah.
25, honestly, at
Hell
heart.
yeah.
Until we're hopping up and
That's what
down them
matters.
stages, and then it reminds you.
Hey, you do it very well. I've seen it quite a few times. You do it very well, sir. You don't show it when you're on stage. Me,
I
now that I'm
appreciate it.
fat, bro, I'd be like, give me a second.
See, I'm just not a running ass person. I've always just been like I move around a lot, but not fast. So I'm the same way on stage. Like odd job see me perform. I ain't jumping around, running around, but I stay moving. You know what I mean?
I used to
Sure.
run around and move around. Now I'm like, nah, bro, I'm going within a 5-foot radius this way, 5-foot radius that way, maybe 3 feet
Point
forward.
at a
3
couple
feet back.
people, fucking.
Yeah, bro,
You know
that's
what I
all
mean?
I'm
Make
doing.
a little emphasis on some shit, and then walk this way.
Yeah, I used to run around the whole crowd and shit, jump
Yeah.
up and down all shit. Now I'm like, no, bro,
No,
no,
my fat ass ain't doing that.
nope.
Shit, man. Speaking of shows, fucking, I know you shared the stage with like some bigger names. Tell us about some of the bigger shows you done, man.
Well, I guess I could start with my very first show I ever did. I got an opportunity to open up for Crucifix.
Okay.
So like, you know, when I first dropped my music video, I imagined my first show being like an open mic night somewhere or something. You know what I mean? I never imagined it being for somebody that I listened to and that I like was a
Right.
fan of.
Yeah.
And I got that opportunity courtesy of Jake Lacoste. He had reached out to me. He really liked my video. He was actually in the video because of the videographer we were working with, and networking purposes. He invited me out to do the show, and it was really cool. I got, you know, that was my first fucking show and experience of being able to rock some of my own music. Was in front of some of his audience, and one of the next ones was, I mean, I'd say the Good Old Boys, which are pretty seasoned out in Cali. And then I've got to work with, I've got a song with Hard Target, but I have not got to rock a show with him yet.
Okay.
I'm kind of drawing some fog with people. I mean, I was just on tour with Overtime recently, which was really cool. I got to meet with Bree and Jones and Big Murph. And you know, being on the road with everybody, you know, everything's kind of going so fast, and day in and day out, you're doing the next show. So like, there's experiences at all these shows, but some of them kind of got washed out because there were so many other shows that were around that. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
I got like my tour comrades. I guess they've become in some ways, even going on the road with Justin and Jason Reed and Fedora Mike. You know, going and opening up for the Bandits with Dusty Lee and the Good Old Boys. You know, that was a whole nother fucking experience in itself, of rocking shows with some seasoned artists and getting to really know how tours operate. Cause that's one of the things I'm aspiring to do myself is go on some tours and some successful tours. And
Right.
being able to have that opportunity, you know, it costs obviously money to be out on the road. And you try to divide that with the knowledge you've acquired people go to school to acquire that shit. Well, that's kind of the same thing of going on a fucking tour. To me, that was like going and, you know, getting your hands dirty. So, and learning a lot from some of these seasoned artists too. You know, I've been making music for 6 years now, and it doesn't feel like that. I'll say that.
That was one thing I was gonna ask you was, hell yeah. So you started 6 years ago. Did you start right? I don't mean to interrupt what you're saying, but did
No,
you
that's
just like,
cool.
yeah, no, like, did you start right out knowing that this was the kind of music you're gonna do, or like, did you have a plan, or did you kind of just wing it?
Yeah, bro, I started winging it. I actually started making some songs out the gate to just kind of have some songs for my kids to sing our own songs on the way to, like, if we were going on a vacation or cabin, just somewhere where we'd have some of our own stuff. And I started putting some finances behind it and doing music videos. I was like, well, maybe I should actually do something with this. And one song led to another. I got into music for the wrong reasons. I got into music for business purposes, which is not, I do not advise that any fucking person get into music for that. It is absolutely going to crash and burn in their face. But I fell in love with the process of making music. I fell in love with, you know, meeting fans at each show, different places, different faces. And it really hit home with me at one of those shows I did out in Cali. One of the fans, when we were filming actually Cowboys and Indians, a fan had come up and had given me a pocket knife and was like, man, your song stopped me from committing suicide, and I want to give you this knife of mine. My dad's in prison and I'll never get to see him again, and you mean a lot to me. And like, I had a lot going on because I'm trying to direct this music video, and this guy gave me this knife, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like not life-changing for me, you know? And that to me was kind of like the sealed fucking thing that said I was going to make music for the rest of my life.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
You know what I mean? And
for sure, man.
at a chaotic time in my life, especially when I was in the desert of Coalinga, California, and I'm trying to direct this crazy fucking music video with monster trucks and dirt bikes and shit. Because nobody else is going to see this vision. I got the vision and I got to execute it. Otherwise it's not going to happen. And
I feel that. Yeah, for sure.
I had a very limited time that I had to work with this videographer. And I paid him some money to let me use his camera to get some shots. So the sun was going down and I had like all this shit going on. And this dude came up to me, this younger kid, and he said, hey, you know, your song had saved my life. The song I did called Can't Hold Me Down. Very, very serious song. And, you know, it touched home. It told me I needed to keep making more music.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Hell
And then
yeah.
there's my
I
rant.
was gonna ask you. No, yeah. So that wasn't your first song, right?
No, that was actually the music video to that was for an album I had done called Cowboys and Indians.
Okay. Yeah, no, I heard you
With-
say that. I just wanted to make sure because you actually a lot of the shit that you're saying, it's kind of cool, man. Because I had like these baseline questions I was gonna ask you. You know what I mean? And you're like leading right into them without me trying to ask you. So I was gonna
Well,
ask you like, yeah, I was just gonna ask you like how it felt releasing your first song and what was it? You know what I mean? Like, what was the vibe when you released that first song, putting it out there?
I was excited as fuck. It was Drink a Little, Smoke a Lot. I had some other songs that I was writing at the same time, but that one I had finished first. So that technically is like my first written, produced, directed song. And I released that January 1st of 2020. I recorded it all right here at the office, upstairs, downstairs, down in the loading dock area, downstairs in the garage area. And it all just blended well. We had like a little poker scene, and then we had some friends that were some cage fighters. Shout out Tommy and Horatio. They're one's a coach, MMA coach, and one's also a fighter. They're both MMA fighters, but they came down and we did a scene down there and made it look like a underground fight club kind of scene. And between the poker scene and the underground fight scene, it went really well. And that was my first song. It kind of let me know I needed to make more music, and that was like a bar. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, well, now there's kind of no going back. Like, what, are you just gonna make one?
Hell yeah. And like, okay, a question about that too. Did it tend to like when you uploaded it on shit, did it tend to like do good off like the get go, or like how did that work out? Because I know that's a problem with a lot of artists. Like they make a really good song, but they just don't know how to market it yet because it's their first song. Like, how did that go for you? Did you just naturally hit those algorithms, or did like you have to fucking push that shit?
No, I did not hit those algorithms right away. Sorry. In fact, because of the name "Drink a Little, Smoke a Lot," and the nature of the song with drinking and smoking weed, YouTube would not allow me to do ads on it. So I had to find
Yeah.
some clever ways to get around that, and I pitched it to some hip hop groups, and it was doing fairly okay out the get go, and then one day it just started catching some traction, and I've done some Google ads, and I can't explain it. So my theory is, I think somebody put an ad on that song, and I don't know how they did because I tried to do it on Google Ads and it wouldn't let me. But the analytics of it has Google Ads analytics, and I got a lot of fans from that.
Did it hit browse features and suggested videos? Because you can do that from a natural YouTube algorithm too. That's how all my shit's been hitting lately. So like the song Meet Odd Job and Rich didn't do that great at first, and then literally like 2 days ago it hit the algorithm, dude, out of nowhere.
That's
I
dope.
noticed the views have been jumping on it lately.
Yeah. So like they'll do that, and I don't run ads at all, man. So like it's literally like when I look at it and break it down, all my live streams are the same way, where it shows me browse features, suggested videos, and that's all algorithm. But it shows the same thing if you do run ads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you might have just hit the algorithm on that. That happens a lot. Like I remember Broadneck's talking about that 16 bar challenge that he fucking went viral on. He went viral 9 months after he dropped it.
Yeah, you never know when it's gonna happen, dude.
Right. Like he dropped it, almost forgot about it, and then it fucking went viral, and he woke up and was like, "Oh shit, I better shoot a video of this motherfucker."
Yeah, that's what happened. It was like a year after. I mean, maybe 8 months or a year after I dropped the video, it finally started fucking catching. It went from like 10,000 up to 100,000 views.
And how did that feel? Was you like, oh yeah,
dude, I was looking at it every single day. There was some days I was looking at it fucking 8 times a day, just seeing where it's at, just watching it grow. And I mean, that was a lot of motivation to keep making more. And I've had some videos do okay. I had Cowboys and Indians do very well, but it's nice when you don't expect it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Because you're expecting it. If you are putting ads behind it and you're getting the algorithm, if I'm typing in like Florida, I want it to go be viewed in front of Kid Rock fans, or I want it to be looked at Alabama fans for Yellow Wolf. And then I'm expecting those regions, but then it's getting in Texas and fucking New York or Missouri. It's like, it's a good feeling when it starts hitting those algorithms.
Right.
Hell yeah. Do you get a lot of plays from places you wouldn't expect, like New York and shit? I know personally I do, like Boston, New York, and shit like that. And I'm like, damn, I don't even think of those as country areas. But
California and Oregon have been surprising the hell out of me, dude. I've been getting some major demographics out there. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're a very loyal fan base out there,
dude.
I still to this day have many fans. I haven't done a show out there in quite a few years, and I've got a very loyal fan base from out there, from all over the place. That I've had the opportunity of rocking shows out there, and even being on tour like Just in Time, going back out there. And even though those weren't my shows, there were a lot of those people in the crowd who knew I was and were chanting my name, and that was such a good feeling,
Yeah, it's wild. But it's Oregon is like my 5th biggest state. You know what's crazy? My home state's number 3.
That's awesome.
It's wild. It's Ohio, Tennessee, Michigan, Indiana, Oregon, Wisconsin, and I don't remember after that. Those are like the top 6.
Ohio's in my like top 5, but it's literally like one of the last ones in my top 5. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck? My own state hates me. But like New York
Florida
fucking loves me. And
See,
I don't know why.
The only East Coast state really fucking with me is Maine and a little bit of New Hampshire. But
Hell yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
like everything Midwest over, dude. It's wild. It's getting crazy. And now I got
That's
people
good,
in other
man.
countries like non-bots, like that are like I had like interact with people from like New Zealand and Scotland and fucking shit like that, like real people. It's wild as hell. They're ordering merch and shit. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta
Hell yeah.
figure out how to ship merch to Scotland.
Dude, it's expensive to ship overseas,
The
bro.
dude, hey, dude was like, I know it's gonna
I
be
bet.
expensive. Get a quote for me. Let me know what it costs. I'll cover that. I was like, sounds good, brother. I got you.
I think it was like Britain or something I shipped the shirt to once, dude, and it was like $27 to
Yeah,
ship
Sure.
the fucking t-shirt. And I was like, God damn, like I sold the dude the shirt for $25 and paid $27 to ship it, but I did it anyways because I thought it was cool. Some guy overseas wanted my shit.
right.
You
Sure.
know, like
I ship things every day. It's part of my business. We own a website and an eBay business and an Etsy store, and
hell yeah.
Yeah, I
we've
need to
got
get
like
my
65,000 positive feedback on our eBay store alone. That's our bread and butter mainly is our eBay sales
That's
every day.
fire.
man. You know what? I need to fucking. I run that Petoskey Toke Stones. We got them in a bunch of dispensaries, Toke Stones bowls, and all that shit like this, made out of stone. You know what I mean? You put a joint in it,
Dope.
smoke it down, yeah, and fucking. I
Oh, that's
never
wicked.
thought of eBay. I never thought
Yeah,
of eBay.
bro.
I'm about to
eBay would
put them
eBay's
probably
tough
bitches
be
on
on that.
eBay.
They cracked down on that
Dog.
shit years ago. You're better off going to Etsy with that shit because it's
I'm already
something
on
that's
Etsy with it.
yeah. I don't. You're not gonna have good luck on eBay with them. I used to sell pipes on there years ago with my Lucky Root business, and the whole PayPal thing. They even seized my money, dude, and they wouldn't give it back, like $900. And
Did
then
they
they
claim it was
sent us.
paraphernalia?
Well, uh, it was a fucking loophole to try to get it back. And then they were like, well, you should have submitted the paperwork right away. But the thing that they sent us told us to wait 6 months. And it was like fucked up. So I didn't want to take them to court over $900. I just kind of fucking, I guess, took the fucking smack in the face from
Right.
a professional company who I was running the transactions through in the first place. I hadn't done nothing wrong. I was selling
That's
glass
fucked up.
pipes, hand blown glass pipes on there with like grinders and different things, like head shop type shit, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Like anything you'd go into a head shop and fucking see, we were selling that online. And
right.
all at once it just stopped. Like I had grown this other eBay business with one of the members of the Good Old Boys, and as fast as it had gone up, as fast as they stripped us underneath our feet because of PayPal's little fucking cannabis and 18 or 21-year-old fucking I don't something or another. But they don't sell pipes on eBay no more, bro. Long ass story short.
Good to know.
Damn,
I
that's
won't waste my
crazy.
time then. Yeah.
I used to buy paraphernalia off eBay way back in the day in like 2010, 11, 12 and shit. Like,
Yep.
fuck. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yep. Even the wax carriers, even the like the little containers that we would sell, I had to get smart on ways to sell them that I didn't say wax.
Makeup container.
Yep. That was in there. Eventually I took it down because we weren't really getting sales on it. And I own a coin and collectible store where we sell like protectables for like comic books or like
Okay.
Hey, did you
coins.
find that book?
I have not. No,
Dog, you don't even know, bro. I'm geeked about that motherfucker.
I attempted to look in one of the offices.
Oh yeah.
I got to dig for that, bro. That was in a box with some other books. So I got to figure out where that's at. I don't know if the wife moved that somewhere.
Is that a secret book? Is it something you shouldn't have?
We won't talk about it.
it I
It's a
had
book
gotten
I've been
into it.
looking for 15 years, and I got on the phone with Naughty, and we started talking, and I was like, "Let me know your price. Name your fucking
Hell yeah.
price."
Nah,
I
it's
used to
yours.
have,
I
like,
just got to find it.
what was it
And
called? I used to have like Poor Man's Alchemist or something, and evidently the book's like illegal to own or some shit.
No,
I
it's
didn't.
nothing like it's not anything that's illegal to own. It's something that if you're not a member of a secret society, you won't get your hands on.
Oh, is it a Freemason book?
We won't talk about it.
I say I used to have a bunch of those too because my buddy's grandpa was like really high up in it. We didn't know, like when his grandpa died, all this stuff just got brought to his house, and we were reading all this shit and going through it. And then one day, one of my buddies that's like, his family are Freemasons, he's like, dude, you guys aren't supposed to have this. And we're like, what do you mean? It's just a book. He's like, no, like you're not supposed to have that. And we're like, oh well, fuck, we go through it all the time.
Yeah, man. I hear
Hell
about that
yeah.
a lot. That seems to happen a lot.
It does. Like he had like the rings and all kinds of shit. Like, you know, like we didn't know we weren't supposed to have that shit. Evidently, like it's only supposed to be passed to other Masons. Like they're
Yep.
like that. I don't know. I
It's
know
like the Bible.
yeah, my tattoo artist is a Freemason and shit. And when I was telling him about it, he's like, dude, no, what? He's like, they don't still have those. Random people aren't still looking at them. I'm like, no, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure when they lost their house, they left that shit there. He's like, oh, that's even better.
Yep.
Yeah,
No
they
doubt.
get offended. I'd love to be a Freemason. There's a lot of like
I
props
wouldn't.
to it. I've heard.
Aren't you? Are you Freemason? Naughty
Me,
Naughty?
I am not. No.
I couldn't remember, but there was someone that I talked to. No, you wouldn't be letting me have that book if you were.
bro. Like from what I've
Honestly,
seen from it,
I don't know
There
much
was
about it.
someone that I just talked to recently that I was like super surprised. I started talking about the Masons, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm actually a Freemason." I was like, "Well," they were like lower level too. You know what I mean?
there's like good opportunities that come with it, dude. Like I'm not saying it's some Illuminati shit like everybody tends to think it is, but like
I've looked into
there's
the lower levels. There's nothing. I know a lot of lower level Freemasons, and they really are just some hardworking folk that are part of this thing.
yeah.
It's not much different than the Eagles, other than they got some a little bit different teachings.
See, I
And
was raised in a
fucking
moose family. Like everybody in
yeah,
Higher
my
up you
family
get the
was part
food
of the
chain.
moose legion. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, but the higher levels, some crazy shit, dog. Like that's some yeah. We ain't this ain't conspiracy night. We won't get into that right now.
He said we're not getting into that. Back to Naughty Northern. So
Hell
besides
no.
that, you sell stuff on eBay. I know you have like a couple other companies and shit too. Like I know you make soap. Uh oh, I forget what else. I forgot what else I was gonna mention. Damn it.
Honestly, bro, I just never liked really working for the man, so I decided
I feel
to
that.
years ago. I mean, I've always been a hustler. Even when I was a kid, I used to try to sell my McDonald's toys at the end of the driveway, kind of thing.
Right.
And as I got older, obviously, that started selling,
That's
more
lit.
illicit things like
Time
weed.
the fuck out. Time the fuck out. That picture in my head just processed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to put that in a song, dog. I was slinging toys at, you know what I mean? Like, you, dog.
Like I
Said I
actually
used to
was.
sell my McDonald's toys at the end of the driveway.
My cousin lived in St. Croix Beach, and she had this plastic like wheelbarrow thing we'd roll to the end of her rock driveway, and we'd sell our fucking like Happy Meal toys.
That's
Like
lit.
garage sale, people driving past, like we'd have lemonade in those, and people
Oh, yeah. I
would
used
feel
to
like
have
bad.
garage sales all the time. Hell yeah. Oh,
But
look
it'd
at
just
these
be like,
little kids. Buy their bullshit toys. Give them to the grandkids.
Dude, I
I
got
was like
reported for
6.
that.
I was like 6 years old doing that shit.
Me too, man.
Some lady called the police on me for selling Kool-Aid and old toys once. Like me and my brother were just trying to get some money to go to the pool. Some lady called the
You lived
fucking
in the
police
wrong
on us,
spot
bro.
then, man.
Yeah, dude. And they're like, you can't be doing that. Like they didn't
Fuck,
take our
dude.
money or nothing, but like
Hell no.
they're like, if you do this again, we're gonna have to take everything. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm just trying to sell some Kool-Aid and some old toys, bro. Like, what's wrong with that? Well, you have to have a license to do that. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
fucking
see,
8. What do you mean? What's the license?
I grew up in the middle of nowhere, bro. I remember doing we did like a cookies and fucking lemonade stand one time. I was probably like about 7 or 8 years old. And dude, I had 2 farmers stop buying tractors, and next thing you know, they sent their whole fucking farm crew through. You know what I mean? Like they pulled up on the tractor, got some lemonade and some cookies, and we're like, "We'll be back." And then there's all kind of farm trucks pulling up. It was crazy as hell.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that don't happen where I'm from. I mean, if I would have done it at the farm, that might have happened, but I did
Right.
it in the city, and yeah, it didn't go over so well. Nope, not at all.
Yeah, shout out to Bob Turb and Butch Lincoln. Well, Bob passed, but shout out to Butch Lincoln. Hey,
I
Bob
might
was
have
a troop. Bob was a trooper though, man. I was like 12 years old working for Bob, and he was probably I think he was like 82 then, and he lived to be like 90 something. He was a Freemason
That's a good
too.
time.
He was a Freemason too. We always had a theory as kids because there was a lot of us that around the neighborhood, well, not neighborhood, we're talking like the closest town was Parma, had 400 people, and I lived 5 miles outside of town in the sticks. So Everybody around there, though, all our dads knew Bob because he had one of the biggest farms in the area, and he hired us to work the farm in the summer. And fucking, there was like a big thing, like, you know, I mean, we'd be out working. He'd be like, all right, let's go in and get lunch. You know, I'll go in and eat some lunch. My dad, like, would be building his house and shit. And fucking, you were not allowed to go upstairs. He was like, the only time I ever seen Bob mad was when my buddy Alex tried to sneak upstairs. And we always had a theory that, like, because we always heard the story he inherited the farm from his parents. And we were like, well, his parents are mummified up there. You know what I mean? Like, that's where his parents' bodies are. They ain't in the cemetery across the street. So, like, he was like real adamant about you could go anywhere in the house. He didn't care. Like, he'd be down at the barns and, like, you'd go up to the house, get whatever you wanted. Don't go upstairs. And he caught Alex trying to sneak upstairs, dude. He was mad as shit. Like, he, like, kicked him off the farm for a few days. Fucking went and talked to his dad and shit. So, like, we were always tripping. We're like, his mummified parents are up there, man. I'm telling you. He's a Freemason. They're wrapped up in like a mummy, like an Egyptian mummy, and they're up there sitting on the bed still. Yeah, man. That was crazy. That was my first job. I started working for him when I was 8.
Hell yeah.
Cool shit.
Yeah. Shit, what was your first job, Naughty Nothing?
My first actual job was a combination of dealing some poker for a company called Twin Cities Poker Parties. We did poker parties for like companies and like we did them for radio stations and things like that for like Texas Hold'em. And then I was also I did poured wall foundations. I was the only fucking white dude on the crew.
Yeah, that's no fun.
And I did framing for a little bit. Those are my jobs and like only jobs, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Shortly after that, my house had gotten raided, and that's kind of when I picked up the eBay life. I started going. I was telling you a little bit on the phone the other day. I had started going around picking up things at garage sales and estate sales, rummage sales, any type of off market sale like that. And I really liked the actual church rummage sales were the fucking best, or estate sales even.
Yeah. My mom used to do the church rummage sales. She like managed them. And I'd go there, like I was telling you the other day, dude, I'd go there with like $20, come out with a bunch of shit.
Bro, you get so many good things there for like nothing, like so cheap. Honestly, that's where I got that book from. So I just got to find it. It's with other books that I've gotten from like estate sales and shit like that. And that's kind of where I started my real like hustle. Where I got to really be creative was when I started buying random shit to sell on eBay, because everything was different. It wasn't like I was just buying a pack of something and it like sells.
Right.
Like everything I sell now, it just people buy it and I just ship it. I don't got to tell them they need it. I don't got to tell them how cool they like it. They find it, they buy it. I just ship it to them every day. I have to have zero fucking interaction with them. I just literally just supply and demand. I'm one of them. So, but back then I had to actually fucking find the stuff with like zero fucking knowledge in most of the stuff I was buying. And, you know, at the time there was things like American Pickers or like Storage Wars. I was kind of doing my own thing. I was doing my garage sailing and my fucking rummage sailing and my estate sailing and selling my shit on eBay. For real.
Hell yeah.
But I was making a good living doing it. You know, there was stuff I'd take a hit on, and there's actually stuff I still to this fucking day have around this motherfucker, like in corners of this motherfucker in different parts. There's still stuff from that history of shit back then that I have yet to sell or just neglect to fucking get rid of.
Hey, one day you'll find the perfect buyer, man. That's what you know. Shit.
Hey, that's what's hard for me to throw this shit away, because I had nothing, so it's hard to get rid of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Become a hoarder in that aspect.
I knew an old man that collected like old truck and car parts like his whole life. And everybody's like, oh, he's just collecting junk, you know, like fucking Tom's just collecting junk. But then, like, you know, the older vehicles started getting popular again and shit. And I know, like, when I got my first square body and I needed parts and I couldn't find them at a parts store, I went down to Tom's house and he had brand new shit in the box from like 1982. You know what
Hell
I'm
yeah.
saying? So, like, that kind of shit, it comes in handy. You never know. Like, somebody
Yep.
eventually is going to need that or want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And all too many times in my life, I'm sure you guys can relate to this. You hold on to something for 2, 3, 10 years, however many, just forever, right? And then next thing you know, you throw it away, and like that next week, or even sometimes the next fucking day,
You
it's
need it.
sick. You need it, and you're like, "Oh my god, I threw that away."
Yep. Facts.
I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
I can't be the only one, I promise.
It's like when I gave away my microphone that I first, like when I first started recording and doing music again, like what I did Out the Mud and Outlaw shit and all that with, I gave it away in a fan giveaway, right? And as soon as I gave that away, dude, our baby bottle took a shit like the next week.
Damn,
Damn.
I'm like, what the fuck?
it'd be
Like,
like that.
damn.
That's life saying, "What the fuck?"
Right, but I was doing a good thing for somebody, you know? Like,
Sure.
I sent it to somebody whose kid wanted to start making music and stuff, and like I autographed it. I sent him a microphone and entered like the whole 9 yards, you know. And then like, yeah, my shit gave out a
You
week
did well.
later.
You just went and bought yourself a new one.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
in any other scenario, it wouldn't have been a good idea, but that was a good
right.
thing.
And luckily, the baby bottle was under warranty and shit. So like, you know, Sweetwater's like, okay, whatever. And I got $400 off this nice Newman that I have now, so it worked
Oh
out.
yeah, man. Yeah,
You
Neumanns are
know?
dope, man. Is it Newman or Neumann?
Oh, I don't fucking know how you actually. I've heard people say
I've heard
both.
a lot of people say that it's actually Neumann, but we're
Yeah, it's
I mean,
Americans,
Neumann,
so
I
we
think.
say Newman.
it probably is because it's a German company, and that sounds like
Yeah,
German.
that was my
I'm just
first motherfucking mic. I swear by him, bro. This motherfucker was $1,500, but I swear by it. It's such a nice mic.
Is that the 103?
Uh,
It looks like the 103.
103. Yeah,
Yeah. I say I got the 102. I got the baby version of that. They're
I think you can
excellent
get them now
fucking
for like
mics.
$1,200 or $1,000.
Yep.
But you know, 5, 6 years ago, I bought this fucker for $1,500, and I got it
Yep.
on I got it on a sale. I paid like 14 or something for it, but it was originally
Yep.
like 15. But there was ones that were going for like 8 grand. I was like, fuck that. I only had like
Yeah, dude. Like the
1,500
U87s
on my.
and shit.
Yeah, I was limited with the amount of money I already spent on studio shit, so I was like, this one will do.
Oh yeah. And they're perfect. Actually, the 103 and the 102s, like even Newman, however the fuck you want to say it, they're themselves, they say they're like, it's the perfect at home studio environment, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even recommend you buy like the U87 or something unless you're in like a perfectly controlled environment because the shit just picks up so clear, like one little thing in the background and it fucks up your recording. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
No doubt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, the 103s, the 102s, and there's another one that's not
What's
one of the.
the 102 is the one that's just I think that's the one I just got. What's
That's
the
what I
next
got.
step
It's
up from
literally
yours? No,
no,
mine's the
mine
one
is
that's a little bit bigger than yours, so maybe mine's the
yours is the
103.
103 then.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say the 102 is practically the same mic. It's just a smaller diaphragm version. It's just like yours is probably about what 5-6 inches tall. Mine's like
Yeah.
4 inches tall
Yeah, I
and
would say
like 2
6.
inches wide. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
have almost all the same internals. The 103 has a little bit bigger of a soundboard in it. They say the 103 is better for instruments than the 102 is. The 102 is pretty much just for vocals, is what like
Gotcha.
it's recommended for. Like you can pick up instruments and all that shit with it, but it's mainly targeted for at-home studios and vocal clarity. That's what it's targeted for. As to where the 103 is
So
more of a all around because it's got a bigger diaphragm, so it's better at picking up like whole room environments and shit. So
Right.
like
Right.
live
yeah,
band playing drums, all
recording
that.
acoustic guitar or whatever.
Yep. I've done a
Yep,
lot of
that's another
research
reason
on
why I got it.
microphones, dude. I've, you know, like I
Man, you
don't
play
know.
guitar, Naughty Northern?
I don't formally, so I won't claim that
Same.
I do, but
Same.
I am learning. I'm learning to play rhythm guitar so I can play with the band.
Hell yeah.
And bust that out like during some key parts of some certain songs, you know. Um, Am I gonna stand up there with a guitar in my hand my whole fucking set? No.
He
I'll be
said, hell
winded
no.
as fuck. As much as I jump around and fucking sing, I'm doing shit up there, spinning around and dumb shit. uh, we've decided to give ourselves a little bit more of a break in between songs too, instead of just going ham. But professionally, we're getting, you know, what you want to do with the band is obviously get tight, and
Right.
it's getting there, man. I don't want to say it's completely there quite yet, because I've got so many fucking songs that I've thrown on these fellas' laps that every practice we get together now, we're, like I said, we're doing different genres, and then we have 5 different sets we're doing. We got a country set, we got a country rock set, we've got a country pop set, which is like kind of like R&B-ish, even some shit.
Hell
And
yeah.
then we've got our heavy metal rock and roll, and then we've got our rap, like country rap shit. So it's very different.
Hell yeah.
But they all kind of go together at the same time. And so to teach the fellows properly, I've separated it out so that way, one night's rock night, one night's fucking hip hop night, one night's country night, one night's country rock night, and that way we just execute that sound every night for that specific period of rehearsal. But there's going to be some of these shows we do at like motorcycle rallies that want a little bit of the country rap and some of the metal, so we're blending two sets.
Yeah.
Or if we're at a mud bog, they want maybe some country rock and some country rap and some of the hip hop rap stuff. Or maybe they just want the country shit.
Yeah.
It'll be nice that we'll be able to execute that, because that's what the fuck we focused on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at, man. I don't mind performing and singing and rapping to a DJ, but where I'm at with my age and kind of what I'm aspiring to hit the next level, I feel like it's time. And I don't even really want to do shows without the band anymore. So I've been putting off a lot of fucking shows if they don't have budgets to provide for the whole fucking family. And unless it's opening for like a big name or something like that, that's just opportunistic.
Right.
I've shot down quite a few shows these last months, and I've also taken on some shows that are opportunistic. But again, if it's not an opportunity and I don't have my band there, I better have like, it better be for a crowd or for some names. That's gonna get my band to the next level. You know
Facts.
what I mean?
You
Facts.
know
That's
what you're
just
aiming
smart
for.
business wise. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not just out there shooting in the fucking brush hoping something crawls out dead. You you got your target
No.
set. Yeah.
And I even have a really dedicated drummer now. His name's Alex. We started a podcast. Do you mind if I say something about that on here?
Yeah,
No, go
definitely,
for it,
man.
bud.
All right. I just wanted to check. I don't want to, I don't want to step on
No,
toes
man.
or whatever.
Nah, it ain't like
Actually,
that.
you've actually been a big inspiration and part of an eye opener for me to want to get one going. So we started one. We've been talking about it for weeks now, and I've been watching you in the background and how you guys have been moving, and we've been watching some of these other guys who do like reaction type channels and like Crypt, and years ago I started a reaction channel kind of before anybody really in the lane I seen really that I knew of doing it. So I stopped doing it. I felt it was kind of corny and I gave up on it very quick. But I see a lot of enlightenment in what you guys do with the podcast and showing people music and getting that heard and getting new fans. I've gotten a ton of new fans from you guys submitting my songs. So thank you also, by the way.
That's awesome, man. That's what it's about. Like, for real. That's what we're
I've
trying to
shouted you
do, is
guys
shed
out.
more light on the people that don't get enough exposure.
Absolutely. I shouted you guys out probably 5 times on our podcast we did the other night, just kind of giving you guys some highlight. And, you know, I
Hell
never
yeah.
really
Well,
imagined.
that's one thing. I don't mean to interrupt you. That's one thing like most people don't know about this podcast we're doing right now, because me and Oddjob started this before, but we had no clue what the fuck we were doing
Yeah,
at
no
all.
clue.
We
Sure.
were just hitting up the homies, winging it, sitting on here bullshitting, you know what I mean? And then with the lives, I didn't know what I was doing then either. I just started out and it started taking off, and I was like, fuck, I better figure this shit out. So I started utilizing connections and figuring it the fuck out. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And then I went back and was like, all right, well, now I know everything I know about how to do these live stream podcasts. I was like, we're about to revisit this one and fucking do this too. So a lot of people don't know about the Billy Bullshit podcast right now because the live stream
You know,
overshadows it. But I'm trying to get them both on the same level, bro. Like, I'm
Sure.
trying to get it to where they're synonymous. Like, oh, these are the live version and this is the recorded version where you can learn more about upcoming artists.
Dope, dude. No, that's
Hell
what it's
yeah.
all about. One thing, we're only doing ours on Tuesdays for right now. That just is what's between Alex and I, our schedules. Alex and his lady have their own crazy life going on, and my wife and I have our own crazy life going on. But Tuesdays work for us. So we decided Tuesdays, we're going to just do it one day a week, and have a guest speaker or two throughout the week planned, or at least one in mind. And I plan on really using this channel to enlighten it with friends. Not that somewhere down the road we wouldn't have maybe someone else on there that's not a close friend, but more of a music associate. But I want to use this for like my friends to get up there, like Twangin' Round and like
Right.
Cam O'Brien and Kid Ziggy and like some of my music friends like you guys. And I want to utilize that for a channel for us to discuss stuff, up and coming songs that we got. Now, I'm not going to be playing my music on there per se. We came up with a genius idea that if fans want to hear Naughty Northern stuff on there, they actually got to send it into us. And if they don't have it, they got to buy it and download it from our catalog. And then it's kind of like the jukebox thing. And then from that, then they will play a Naughty Northern song. But it's going to be from submissions. And if we don't have enough submissions, it's just going to be talk, you know?
See, that's cool, man, because that's kind of one thing that I do that, like, I've had to, obviously you see me rotate co-hosts and bring different people in and shit. So that's one thing I've had to try to, like, get other people to understand, because bringing certain people in, they're like, well, we have this platform. Why wouldn't we promote ourselves? And it's like, it's not about promoting ourselves. I play my song at the beginning and end of each show. You know what I mean?
It's like
Because
an
that's the
intro.
intro and
Yeah,
outro.
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
then
love
if I
that you do
got
that.
one that I'm working on or something that I want feedback on, I'll play it. Like the one with Cinny Sticks, I've played a few different times because I want feedback on that song. That's something I'm real proud of. It's an unfinished track. I don't play any of my release shit. I don't play, you know what I mean? I don't sit there and try to promote myself, and that it brings an energy to the show that people see, because you're not sitting there being self-centered, you using this platform to just push yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're trying to help other people come up too. And like, to me, I play my song at the beginning and the end, and if that interests people to go look into my catalog, that's all I need. The rest of the show ain't about me.
Well, doing that is proper too, because you got to have kind of that face. You got to have that sound to
Right.
your, you know what I mean? So I thought about that too. And we've got instrumentals that we're going to formulate into the beginning, or like an outro, from different songs. Maybe depending on the time of the year we play a certain song, it'll be just like the
Dude.
instrumental, a part of the song, like maybe a little clip of the chorus or something.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is we're remixing that song because that song's 2 years old for me. And when we were coming up with the idea, so the first couple live streams didn't have a name. I went back and put the name on them,
Cool.
and we were just winging it, making shit up. And then I was like, fuck, we should probably name this. We're like, what are we going to name it? And we had ideas from other people that were like, make it a certain brand. And I was like, well, it's on my channel. It's all this shit. Make it Hickerbilly shit. And we came up with the name separate. And then I was like, well, that. And then the person that was advising us was like, well, you guys need to come up with a theme song. And I was like, well, we named the show Hickerbilly Shit. And I already have a song that's 2 years old called Hickerbilly Shit. So
Hell yeah.
might as well make that the fucking theme song. And it just fucking worked out really well. I was
No,
like, it
it's
was
dope.
almost like, it's one of them things that, like, some conspiracy motherfucker later down the road is going to be like, it was planned. You know what I'm saying? Because I literally dropped a song called Hickerbilly Shit, then made a fucking live stream called Hickerbilly Shit that took the fuck off, and the two just went hand in hand. But I really had no idea what the fuck I was doing. It was all just winging it. And I was like, hey, that
That's the
sounds
best
good.
way.
Run it. That sounds good. Run it. Keep
Things
going.
fuck up when you do it scripted, so it's best to just
Yeah,
wing it.
exactly. Big
It's
time, dude.
organic, it's natural, it's
Yeah.
funner. You know what I mean?
Like, dude, none of the shows that I do, the live streams or anything, are ever scripted. It's all just like the most planning that I do is plan who I'm gonna bring on. That's it.
Sure.
I'll like
Yeah, you got to
schedule
have a
out who's
general
coming
idea.
on that night. Yeah, that's it. I don't
Maybe
have
a couple questions you might ask, and that's it.
usually not even that.
Well,
Like,
I mean, hey, fuck it.
these interviews are more planned than anything, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The
Yeah, sure.
interviews, like, That's about it. But yeah, man, it's wild because
Nah,
there's some nights I'll not even plan to have anybody up there. Be like, we're just gonna do a review, and someone hops in the chat, and like, next thing you know, we got 5 people up there. It's going crazy. It works
sure.
out.
No, it's cool, man. I, I, I I never planned on doing the podcast thing. I've known what they are for fucking years. I really was exposed to them during the COVID time. A lot of people were doing that then, and um, I just focused on the music stuff. I gave up the whole reaction channel thing. I did some reactions to like some overtime songs and like some twang around songs. Some of my friends' music that I really liked, and I just felt it was like too time consuming and corny and just weird of me sitting there in front of a camera looking at something and like um and I'm fucking blunt. So if I don't like something, well then it's like then it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm trying to like help this song. I'm not gonna stand there and be like, yeah, this shit's fucking dope,
No,
you know?
yeah.
It's
See,
like
I figured out how to like be blunt about shit, but still be constructive. That was the hardest part for me. Because at
yeah,
first I just wanted to be like, well, that's fucking trash. You need to quit rapping. And that's not the way to do it. So now I sit there and I'll be like, all right, you need to go back to the drawing board because first of all, your flow is off here, you're stretching words here. Like I figured out how to break it down to where it's constructive, but I'm still telling them like, hey, your song sucks. You know what I
That's
mean?
why Hiccup
So
really
yeah,
it's
don't
like
yeah,
let me
here,
on the live.
it's like your song sucks, but here's how you could fix it. That's what I try to make it.
yep, polite. And honestly,
And
everybody
and
has a point where they're at and where they're trying to be at. Some people are comfortable where they're at. You know what I mean?
well,
Um,
we've had 3 or 4 artists. There's one, Money Rob Man Money. I'll always speak up for that dude because I watched his evolution on my live stream in like 30 days. The first song he sent me was complete ass. The first 5 songs he sent me were ass. But instead of
He's
just saying, that's ass, Money Rob Man Money, quit doing rapping, we fucking gave him constructive criticism. And every time after that, he started getting a little bit better. Everything that we
yo,
told him. And dude, the last song he sent in, I gave him fucking 9.5, dog. Like I was thoroughly
hell yeah,
impressed. And he did that shit in 30 fucking days. So
dope,
like
dude.
that's what makes
Congrats.
me want to like stay on that shit because and he's messaging me and emailing me the whole time too and was like, yeah, man, I really appreciate all this. And like sometimes I feel bad because
You're inspiration to him.
I'll cut the song halfway through though and be like, that's not it. You need to go back to the drawing board. You're stretching words. You sound like you're reading the lyrics. And I feel like a dick when I'm saying it. And then the next day he's like, hey man, you were right. I fixed all this shit. Check it out now. And it's better. So I'm like, fuck. All right, I'm gonna keep telling people that. You know what I mean?
That's dope,
So yeah,
man.
you gotta be brutally honest, but you gotta be constructive while you're being brutally honest. You know what I'm saying? That's like the key
Absolutely.
to it all.
Yep.
But shit,
I would
man.
agree with that.
I Yeah, for sure. I was gonna ask you. It's kind of a little bit off topic now, but I had 2 more questions I was gonna ask you. Um, what are some of your influences with music? That was one thing that I was really curious because your sound is all over the place. So I really want to know what you draw influence from, or what would you say are your influences in music?
Well, I mean, it is all over the place. Most of it does stem from more rock, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Um, I grew up with a mother that was, she went into all the Leonard Skinner's, Rolling Stone, Beatles, like everything from the 60s, 70s type shit.
hell yeah.
Uh, Rock and roll, heavy metal, hard rock type shit. So I was raised a lot on that. But then being a 90s kid, I was born in the 80s, but being, obviously a 90s kid, uh, being so diverse with the area, also being in the outer suburbs of the metro, there was hip hop, there was rap, there was country. So a little bit of everything. I had black friends, I had brown friends, I had yellow friends, and I had obviously white friends too. But um, it was a mix of fucking like everything, all cultures. I had friends that spoke Spanish. I had friends that spoke fucking Japanese. And
Hell yeah.
so I was very diverse in the music. I grew up listening to Tupac and I grew up listening to, Leonard Skinner. Um, uh, Most of my influence directly stems to probably my childhood of like between the ages of 6 and 12. Um, A song that came out that I really liked at the time was that Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise song. And I
Yeah.
finally found the fucking track. So this was one of the things I actually asked Santa Claus. Now, this is fucking crazy to imagine this. Now, I can't believe this is being recorded. So someday we can look back on this and have documentation of this. But I put this on my Santa Claus wish list as a child to get the Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise, and I got it. Obviously, my mom delivered, but like it was in the form of me getting it from Santa in my stocking, and
Right.
so I woke up that morning, kids getting toys and shit. I was so excited to get my fucking cassette for Coolio's. I'll grab it. It's actually over here. I found it the other day because my engineer and I were talking about it, and I found it in a box. I got the original Weird Al Yankovic Amish Paradise track too.
Hell yeah.
Because I was so obsessed with that song that I also liked the parody of it.
Yeah.
And I just remember as a kid thinking that it was cool to be a rapper. And yeah, I gotta grab this quick so you can fucking see this shit. It's the original cassette, y'all. It's fucking crazy.
Hell
That's
yeah.
fire. I've karaoke'd
It's,
both those songs drunk at the bar.
This is actual fucking like childhood. So this is the original cassette.
Fire. He still got
That's
the price
lit.
tag on
Hell
that
yeah.
shit.
That's dope as hell.
This is the original cassette. And then afterwards I went and got this one. This is the soundtrack. But then here's
Hell
the
yeah.
fucking Weird Al Yankovic
Hell
Amish
yeah.
Paradise. And I mean, if you guys have heard that song, it's hilarious. It's like,
Bro,
it's a
I
really
made
good
$40.
parody of it.
I made $40 in tips. Me and my wife karaoke in that song once at the bar.
Dope,
Yeah.
dude.
I don't know how. People just started
That's a
throwing
good
money
story.
at us. And I'm like, I feel like a stripper.
That's awesome.
It was pretty
But yeah,
great.
man, so having an inspiration from rap at a young age, I don't know why I loved that song so much. It was the chorus and the jingle and just the
It's a
liveliness
very
of it.
well put together track too. Like it's got
Yep.
an aura to it, you know, like you hear it and like within 5 seconds you're just kind of okay.
Yep. And I remember also being obsessed with Rob Zombie at the time. So I was listening to heavy metal and also like some of the most heaviest fucking rap and hip hop as a very young kid. And I remember not only Hellbilly Deluxe being one of my first albums, that was one of my first CDs, along with Snoop Dogg Dog Pound.
Hell yeah.
The original Dog Pound with the dark blue
Yep.
fucking circle on it. I lost that motherfucker. But those were some of my biggest influences in music, was some of the tried and true of music, and really all aspects. You know, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Tupac were some heavy hitters in hip hop that influenced me. Yeah, I don't know why at a young age I thought being a rapper was cool, but that sparked it for me with that Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. I was like, man, I want to be a fucking rapper when I get older. And I gave up on it as a, you know, when I 18, 19, I was like, I don't want to be no Eminem or nothing stupid like that. And, you know, got into selling things on eBay. Apparently that was my route. But then it circled back, man. Smo was another influence. Not only did I like some of his music, but he showed me some music when I was on the road with him. In fact, when we had that little 2 or 3 hour drive going to Santa Ana, he had showed us some of his unreleased music, and he had some fucking hits. And it inspired me. Like, man, that he was one of the inspirations to me. Not that I was like,
hell yeah,
driven to get into music because of Smo, but inspiration comes in different packages. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, after helping him direct some of his music videos, I was fucking obsessed with like the back end of like filming parts of it. Like, I love music videos. Like that part of the whole process is like my favorite.
I never
Yeah,
had
I
any
love
clue
doing
what to
music
do during
videos.
videos.
I love
I've
doing
seen-
videos.
I've seen
Dude, the
you
video
doing
me and you
videos,
did.
though.
Yeah.
He gets into it, bro. Like at Chris's, you were filming a video, and I think there was one other time we were somewhere and you were filming clips or something for something.
I just dropped the video today at 5. Ride High 2 dropped. I didn't do very much promoting on it. I didn't do like, I usually do a rollout of some things. I've kind of been busy with some stuff, and some of the reels I collectively would have done for this video, I actually just did yesterday. So I was like, fuck it. I'll start releasing some of the reels, you know, for the next couple of weeks. Cause there's there's a rhyme and a reason to this shit that I'm finding out. And you know, some of it's different, catered to different people and budgets and, you know, lifestyles and, you know, families and things like that. But there's a certain fucking math to this shit. And I'm figuring a lot of this out. And that's one of the shit I'm going to be helping also kind of expose. I don't want to say expose, but kind of a lot of people are gatekeeping this shit, I feel like. And I want to fucking spread a lot of this knowledge that's helped me get the things that I've gotten in music and learned that I've gotten to, so that it can maybe save somebody fucking 5 years of trying to figure it out and, you know, skip them a couple steps kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Because there's so much fucking money to be made in music. So it's like, if there's 800 other rock stars that started from this, it ain't going to step on mine or your toes. It's going to help everybody.
Exactly. And that's what people don't realize, man. Everybody's trying to be the big dog and keep other people back and take advantage of them. And
no, there's no fucking
there's enough
reason
fucking room for everyone, dog. Like, if we all just helped each other and uplifted each other, everybody would be fucking eaten by the end of the year. Straight up.
The only way there isn't enough room for people is if you're on a record label. But if you're independent, we're all fucking eating good because we all own our masters at the end of the day. We don't have to fight and compete against other ticket sales, other artists on that label.
Facts.
You know, when you're signed to a label, there's a lot of shows those artists don't get or take because there's other artists in that area, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And then that record label won't step on that fucking other person's toes because it doesn't make sense for them to do that.
Well, because they got money in both.
Well, I mean, if it's not promoted properly, if it's like the same heavy metal artist, you know, like if Shinedown is signed with like Sony and then another heavy metal artist is in that area, Shinedown probably ain't going to do a show in Detroit that same night that fucking, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel what you mean.
Versus like, if it was different, maybe they'd collaborate on the show or something and get together and bring their audiences together and fucking network. Because your network is your net worth, in my opinion.
Facts. 100% facts.
I've done some pretty stupid things with finances, and I've almost killed myself over things like Bitcoin. So, honestly, the fact that I still have what I have, and you know, it really just comes to being appreciative of the things you got. And as long as you got money to have gas in your tank to get A to B, I'm fucking happy right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
well,
no, there's go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. What else you have to say?
No, I was just gonna say there's the rhyme and the reason to that. But that was it.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask you what's next for you? Like, what do you got upcoming, release wise, show wise? Like, what should people be looking out for?
Well, show wise, they're very, very scattered right now because I'm being very picky because of what I'm doing with building the brand with the band. I asked the fellas if they wanted to be something other than the Naughty Northern, because when I first started the Naughty Northern, I didn't really plan on being a band. I didn't know where the fuck I was going to take it. And now that I do have a band, I asked them, well, do you guys want to be Naughty Northern and the Fuck Offs, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they all agreed that they want to be the Naughty Northern. So,
hell yeah.
You know, and it really comes down to, obviously, you know, opening the doors to that. It really comes down to, I mean, there's a lot of things that decipher where to take it from here. Now we're in the production process of producing our own music. You know, we're rehearsing even all of my own music. So like, eventually, it makes sense for it to be the Naughty Northern when the band is in place. And if I'm at a show and the band isn't there, it's just Naughty Northern. And taking it to the next level now, it's just kind of focusing on what I want to do with these next albums rolling out, and really honing in with the band on really more of the country rock kind of metal sound that we're doing. And
hell
yeah, that's really it. We're we're working with some crazy opportunities. My drummer has his own private business on the side with this sound. They run sound for events and things like that. They have connections with some really big pushers with like lighting equipment too. Some really high end like digital boards and things like that for like big like walls, like video walls.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I don't really know where I'm going to take it. I've had inspiration people for like Jelly Roll and Kid Rock and Yellow Wolf, and this is way before Jelly Roll is fucking as big as he is now.
Right.
Kid Rock
Oh,
was
Jelly, yeah, dude. Yeah, me too, man.
Jelly
Kid Rock.
Roll.
I'm a Michigan boy, so like Kid Rock was like my fucking hero growing up. You don't even know.
Same.
I was always like, fuck Detroit, but Kid Rock's the shit.
Same actually. Even though I live in Minnesota, I mean, as a young kid, I was skating around at the skating rink, fucking requesting his song "Cowboy" or "Bow to Bar" or whatever, from
Hell yeah.
from his biggest fucking tracks. And inspiration getting into music really drew from him. I had inspiration like Yellow Wolf and Jelly Roll, but like to hit it to the next stage now, I'd say, I mean, Kid Rock is probably where I'm collectively trying to hit the next levels to.
Hell yeah. He's a good
maybe I'll hit
influence
the
too.
moon.
Hey,
he's done a little bit of everything, so like he started
goal.
off as a DJ.
That's my goal for the live streams, man. I've been saying that for a few weeks now. Like by this summer, I'm gonna get Kid Rock on it. It's more than a goal. I'm manifesting
Hell yeah,
that
dude.
shit. And the crazy part is I started saying that and manifesting it before. Like I know someone on Kid Rock's team that could potentially maybe make it happen, but it's a long shot. But before I had any real connections, I started saying I was gonna get Kid Rock on there, and then I had people coming out the woodworks like, "Yo, I know Kid Rock. I can help make that happen." I was like, "But oh yeah," so
everybody's people, man.
It's gonna happen, man.
You're always one phone call away from somebody who's in celebrity status that has that financial freedom.
Right.
Everybody's just people, man. Like, I mean, I might have lost fucking $10 million worth of Bitcoin, but like financially, I'm still mentally free from that. Like, I learned a lot from that, having to come and do double shifts at my office for fucking 2.5 years to pay back a $25,000 loan. Because I bought Bitcoin, I bought $25,000 worth of it back when it was like $250. So I acquired a lot of it, and I was told by some financial friends not to buy more than $10,000 worth of it at a time. So I bought $9,990 of it. And then I went to the cabin that weekend for like, it was like Memorial maybe weekend, or maybe it was Labor Day weekend, one of those fucking holiday weekends. And I came back like that Monday or Tuesday, and it had gone up. So by the time the banks had transferred $10,000 worth of fucking Bitcoin went from like 250 to like 350. So I had fucking like 15 grand worth of Bitcoin in my account when it finally transferred.
Right.
And I was obsessed with it before I even did anything with it. I had just bought it and was like, what the fuck? So, same thing. I bought another like little under $10,000 worth of it. And same thing, similar happened. It went up, and I made like 12,000. So I made like $2,000 off of that purchase. And I got really greedy with the idea of where it was going to go. I knew Bitcoin was going to be fucking big someday. And I just got really greedy with it. I played my fucking cards wrong, and I invested into some Ponzi schemes, and those Ponzi schemes fucking disappeared, and I fucking lost it all. And
that's a motherfucker.
I still was stuck with that loan. I still had to pay back $25,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if you can honestly imagine taking $1,000 cash every month and throwing it down out the window, or flushing it actually down the toilet, I had to do that every fucking month for 2.5 years, while Bitcoin was also rising and being worth more. So it was like I was constantly just being reminded of my mistakes. And I did the math on 55 Bitcoin. It's like fucking $5 to $10 million.
Yeah.
Right
I got
now,
a buddy that's loaded off it because he's been mining it since the shit first came out, and like he's acquired quite a lot of it, and he's worth a lot of fucking money now. He don't act
Sure.
like it. He still lives his normal day-to-day life, drives like a 2005 CRV and shit, but like,
That's cool, man.
you know, if he ever needs it, it's fucking there. It's crazy. He tried to
I
get
did
me in
learn how
on
to
that
day
shit.
trade.
I told him
Yeah.
no. I was dumb.
Do you guys get into crypto, or you guys know what
I
what
don't
day
fuck with
trading is?
crypto, but I got a lot of
I'm not smart enough.
I'm into investments and assets for sure. And I got a really financially smart friend that I've talked about him a lot, but it's one of my best friends, man. And this motherfucker, he's like the Donald Trump of our generation, I'm telling you.
Dope. What I've learned,
I'm not gonna put his business out there and say too much, but there's a reason that he's in charge of my financials now. Once I got to a point where I actually needed someone to help me with financial management, it's the only person I would ever trust.
no doubt, bro.
Yeah.
What I've learned back before cryptocurrency became as popular as it is and accepted in all these places, you can buy houses, you can buy any type of real estate, you can buy multi-trillion-dollar estates with it at this point. If you can think of it, you can purchase things with cryptocurrency.
We have
All of it.
fucking
You know
Bitcoin
what I mean?
ATMs now and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yep.
My cousin and I were talking about investing in a Bitcoin ATM years ago before Bitcoin was even a thing, really. And at the Mall of America, it was just too expensive. It was like fucking $5 or $10 a month just to have an area for a kiosk. And it was like, well, are we even gonna draw that kind of profit in? Because people really don't even know what Bitcoin is. Like, it just didn't pay off in the thought process of it. And my cousin, who's rich, who lives in Dubai, wasn't really trying to invest into it. So I diverged from that idea fucking kind of once we looked at the analytics on it. But it's kind of like stocks, bro, but you can spend it. It's like fucking digital
Yeah.
gold.
Yep.
Yeah, that's lit.
Like when you think of the US dollar and you think about like $1, right? Like you think about $1 US that has 100 pennies in it. Bitcoin can be diversified into pennies too. Like there's a penny of a Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I transferred a penny of a Bitcoin to a paper wallet years ago, and at the time it was only worth like $3. Now it's worth like 1,000.
That's
Hell
wild.
yeah.
So if you can imagine that concept, it's like imagine now silver. Silver's worth $30 for an ounce. Gold is worth like $2,600 for an ounce.
Yep.
Right? So Bitcoin at one point in time was worth $2,600 for one Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to buy a whole Bitcoin, it would have costed you $2,600. If you wanted a half a Bitcoin, it'd be $13, etc. Right? Well, now one of the motherfuckers is worth like 80. I think it just dropped from 100 down to 80. It's like hitting its bottom right now at 80. But that's because financial institutions are getting involved in it and countries are starting to buy it. Like Trump just bought fucking like 500 million some dollars worth of ether. So I mean, if you have any type of money, I would and tell you to go buy some ether too, because they're like $2,600 for one, where a Bitcoin is $80,000 for one. You know what I'm saying? So like, ether's kind of like the silver of the cryptocurrency world.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you were to compare it to the physical commodity of like silver and gold. But it's a very real thing, fellas, that can be life-changing if you do it right. And it's not, even now, it's not too late to invest in it, because in the next 10 years from now, I think ether's going to be $100,000 for one of them motherfuckers. So,
I mean, bro, I'm not gonna lie. You start talking about this shit, I'm over here texting my dog like, "Hey, we need to look into this."
I'm being real.
That's I'm over here looking. That's why I was looking down. I'm looking at my phone like, "Hey, bro, what you know about this? We need to get into this shit right here."
Well,
So that's
start
what's up,
cheap.
man.
Don't go put all your money in Bitcoin just yet. You know, I would start cheap and only do what you can afford to fucking invest into it. You know, don't go take house loans and shit out on it just yet. Like I did. I took a fucking business loan out for 25 racks and threw the house on it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I wouldn't do that. But
if I would have just held on to the Bitcoin, I'd be a millionaire right now.
Right.
You fellas would not know me. I would be
when
a
you said something
different
about
person.
ether, I'm over here like, well, Trump's investing in it. $2,600 don't sound too bad. And I'm over here like, bro.
Well, it was just $4
I
grand.
need some of this shit, dog. Like, look into it. Like I said,
A few years ago,
someone that I trust very, very. Like, all right, I've given this example one other time, and I know he don't care about me saying this. So when we were 16 years old, this is one of my best friends, dude. Like I hung out with him every fucking day, and we both got families and kids now, and I still see him at least once a week. It's like, and we live an hour away from each other. So fucking. When we were 16 years old, he had a family member that died, and he got a $5,000 inheritance. Me at 16, bro, I went through 15 grand in one summer because I was doing a lot of alleged shit. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I partied it all away. So this motherfucker took that 5 grand. We partied on 500. He invested the other 4,500, and he had like 20 grand by the time we were 18. Now he owns all kinds of real estate. He fucking makes 6 figures at his job, growing fucking weed. You know what I mean? And fucking like, dog is just the most financially savvy person I've ever met, and just happens to be one of my best friends from elementary school. So fucking yeah, dude, I'd put him in charge of my financials straight up, and fucking he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Here's another good thing that's good about crypto in the music world is that if you were a promoter and you took ticket sales in Ether, now let's say Ether's at $2,600 at its today's price, but tomorrow it goes back up to $4 grand. The fucking Ether that you just accepted in your ticket sales just fucking doubled.
Damn.
So
all right.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's a lot of logic to it. Dog. Now if you cash it out, it's a commodity just like stocks or gold. So if you buy it with US dollars, taxed US dollars, and you go and spend it in stocks, gold, or cryptocurrency, and you sell it within a year, they call it short-term gains. So you have to pay, I think it's 30% taxes on that. So if you made $100,000 in taxes on that or in profit, the IRS expects 30 grand on that motherfucker. And they get it, dude. They got Al Capone on that shit. They'll get you. So there's no fucking avoiding the Federal Reserve, dude, until Trump gets rid of them, and then we're fucking straight. But so on
the Federal Reserve might not even be real. Musk's about to go in there with the fucking. Well, no, Elon cracks me up. I'm gonna live stream it. I'm walking into Fort Knox, and like Trump's gonna give him the authority to do it too.
I'm intrigued about that.
That's fucking yeah.
That'd be wild. And Daddy Elon tattooed.
They said everybody at Fort Knox got gold spray paint cans painting lead bricks now.
Damn. Let's say if you were to sell your
gold.
I
mean that's probably bullshit. That's just like a meme, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing for real, but I thought that was funny as shit.
Most of the gold that's in there is why he wants to go show it is because most of it ain't even ours. Most of it is borrowed gold from countries, and they're asking where it's at. And they want proof that it's still there. So it's not even really to show the American public. It's actually to show the countries that it is theirs, that we still have it. That's what they're not telling the public.
And you never know, because that's the other thing, too, is like our government's so corrupt that these other countries didn't even trust them. So they probably know that these motherfuckers are stealing shit.
And if they sold it, did they pay taxes on it? Because they're expecting us to do it.
No.
So what's beautiful about cryptocurrency is if you own it, you can spend it and not have to pay taxes on it. So like if I go buy a house with it, I don't have to pay taxes on it. But if I cash out that Bitcoin or that Ether or whatever the fuck cryptocurrency you've made money off of, and you convert it into US dollar, the United States, Uncle Sam wants his cut.
What if like I convert it into euros?
Same thing. If you convert it into euros, they want their fucking cut.
Damn it.
Yep. When you convert it into that's why they invented the cryptocurrencies, because scientists got together and they were like, how can we do transactions without needing to use the US bank system or another? That's all really the US dollar is. It's a means of being able to do transactions. So scientists came up with this coding crazy fucking shit. And I ain't going to get into the logic of that. It's too much. But they came up with this really smart logic on that makes things really rare and that mines it at a very limited amount. So it constantly keeps things at limited supply. Supply and demand is what keeps things kind of in
valuable.
Check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they created this system that every 4 years they do these splittings and things becomes less harder to mine. And so the people who are mining these cryptocurrencies get less and less. So there's less in population.
That makes sense.
You know, when you can spend these things and not have to pay U.S. taxes on them, you know, you can literally get hotel rooms for them. You can buy cars. You can fucking take vacations with it. Then you don't have to pay taxes on it. But you lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew people who had bought condos in Dubai for fucking, let's say $100,000 worth for the condo. And, you know, if they would have held on to that Bitcoin for another like 4 more years, they'd own like 8 condos.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's insane, man.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, but the music industry is going to start tapping into that soon, where we'll be able to start getting our distribution paid out in cryptocurrency. Some of them I've heard allow that, which I've got to fucking find that out. That's something I want to find out because I want to start distributing songs with them immediately.
Okay.
If we can fucking get our money distributed to us in cryptocurrency, you have no idea how much of a game changer that's going to be for musicians.
The only thing for that is like, I would just be worried about like with any kind of shit like that, the up and down. So I'm the kind of person that as soon as it doubles, I'm cashing out.
Well,
you know
it is a risk to reward.
I might cash out. So that's how I do casinos. So like, say I go in with $20 and I get $40, I pocket 20 and play off the other 20.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
how
smart man.
Same thing. So like, say I put 2,600 into cryptocurrency and I get $5,000 out. I'm gonna pocket 24 and I'm gonna put 26 back in.
No, that's smart.
I just blow it all. Oh, what?
I know you would. Odd Job hit me up. We're going to your mom's again. Another party at the farm.
Yeah.
Or we go out where we shot that music video. But hey, so we are kind of running a little bit low on time, man. I want to get a chance to play a couple of these songs for you while we're out here. And then I was going to tell you too, we're going to start the live stream here in a little bit tonight. If you got some time, you're more than welcome to hop over there too. Same with you, Odd Job.
Odd Job's got to do stuff.
Yeah, I figured, you fucking pussy.
My old lady was trying to get me out of here like an hour ago.
Yeah, I hear
you.
Well, I appreciate the invite, fellas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's play this music, man. I'm excited to hear some naughty I haven't heard.
Man, this Country State of Mind with Cindy. I've heard this. He sent it into the live stream. It's fire. We're going to spin this one.
Appreciate it.
Country state of mind. Do what it do to protect mine. Got a lot to lose, so I ride. Have a lot to prove, so I tried. Middle finger to the lawn till I die. Hit the highway 35 southbound. Rolling with the lid one and it's out loud. I'm like prohibition, I'm outlawed. Like a 30-06, my fault. Blind people like me give a shout out. 3 years in, look what we got now. You'll ride around and hear my sound. Don't need more time, it's my town. Out here in a country state of mind. My land so better stay up mine. In a chair, I'll sit back and recline. My line of sight's when you cross the line. Live by a bullet, got by my blade. Got buttons you can push and cut through my way. Step up to the plate, no Lord's grace. Got guns round here, but I'm sword blade. On a work day, might be late. There is hell to pay, I am at the gate. How the fuck you go from bad to worse? My stuff goes from damn, now that's the verse. Now that's the verse, now that's the verse.
Can't get that for your precious time. On the bottom where we live, y'all know what it is. In a country state of mind. Keep my protection on the side of it. Don't want no trouble, but it's fine. We in the woods getting took. Would it take me? I'ma do it in a country state of mind. Yeah, in a country state of
Move off the land, gun in my hand. Make up dirt clockwork, I'm a simple man. Hard work to do, still have a past. Artwork will prove who's standing last. My axe always on the grind, kept on going, no friends behind. Fake ass friends, you can leave them behind. My 6 on the hip in a state of mind. Snakes are in the grass, got venom aside. Rock and roll, but we need to ride. Lock and load, evil has a smile. Bars can close, a judge and a trial. We like rustic, backwoods country. I kept it with the shooting range if you're hungry. Country fresh, clean money, nothing less but the best to get from me. Does the pay, they get paid in the pine trees. There's smoke, rope, signal as far as I see. Make the most, no luxury. Made from those that cross the creek. My people will bounce the kiss. My people smoke an ounce of this. My people know what it is. We can make it quick, live the life we live.
can't get nothing for your precious time. On the bottom where we live, y'all know what it is, in a country state of mind. Keep my protection on the side of it. Don't want no trouble, but it's fine. We in the woods getting to it. When it take that, I'ma do it in a country state of mind. Yeah, in a country state of mind.
Hell yeah.
Bro.
That's fire.
Appreciate you, man.
It scared the shit out of me at first.
Hey.
I didn't know my studio sub was on, and my whole ground started shaking when it started playing. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Hey,
It rumbled.
dude, you killed that shit though, for real. Because I had something before I ever
Thank
got
you.
a song with the Sticks or anything, man. I think it was Jesse Howard that said it, but I'm not gonna misquote who said it. Someone came on the live stream and was like, if you get a chance to get a hook with Cinny Sticks, you better fucking send that motherfucker. Like, you better, because it can be a banger, or you can fuck up and miss your opportunity because you had a hook with Cinny. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
fucking sent that bitch, bro. You took full
Thank you, brother.
advantage of it. You turned that song into a banger. Like, mad props
Thank
on
you.
that song, for real.
I appreciate the fuck out of that. Shout
For
out
real,
Cindy
man.
on that song. He produced that song. He killed it on the chorus. Knuckles actually reached out to me because Knuckles had reached out to me to do a song that Cindy and him had already on, and he had an open verse. And so I did my verse and sent it to him. And he was like, oh, you're working with Naughty? He's like, do you mind if I get his email and send him some stuff? So Knuckles hit me up and was like, hey, Cindy hit me up. Is it cool if I send him some stuff? Or he sends you some stuff. I was like, fuck yeah. So I gave him my email, and I got like 10 beats in there on which ones. I ended up buying like 5 or 6 of them from him, and I got some
Man.
splits that I'm doing with him on some stuff. But ones with the choruses like that, obviously I'm working out stuff with him, so he gets stuff on the back end. That way I'm not just it's not just a one-sided street kind of thing. I don't like doing collaborations that it's really like that. I would like to work with artists that also kind of really want to share the song, and if they really don't, I mean, I really don't want to work with you kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
See, I mean, iJob can tell you that's how I am too. Like, I've had artists that I work with that are my friends that don't ask for shit, and then I go to release a song. I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna kick you. What, you cool with 20, 25? They're like, I wouldn't expect nothing. Like, bullshit. You're on the song. You're gonna get something.
Yep. That's what
No,
it should be.
he pitched me that one, and Runaway was another one. And I got to work on both of them right the fuck away. And Runaway I had pitched to John Connor, and John Connor bit. I mean, I don't want to say bit, but he really was intrigued and really is inspired by it. So he got to work on it, sent me back his hook or his verse back right away. And then I was sitting on it for a little while thinking, who else should we have on the song? And then I got an invite from Overtime to open up for him. This was last year, the beginning of last year. He did his tour from last year, and I asked him if he wanted to be on it, and I submitted it to him before he even started the tour. And I patiently waited for him to be off the tour. He finally delivered on it, and he fucking knocked it out the goddamn park. And I don't want to say finally delivered on it. He obviously he had the whole tour ahead of him. He couldn't fucking deal with, just a song thrown on his lap. So he reassured me on multiple occasions that we bumped heads with, because he had me opening from on different shows on his tour. And he was like, "Hey, bro, I ain't forgotten about you." Even though I never brought it up one time, he just was always assertive and being like, "Hey, bro, I ain't forgot about you." So I've always been like, "Hell yeah," I just patiently waited for it, and finally he delivered, knocked that fucker out the park. And I was like, man, I dissected the song, and I was like, I think this song has potential. And we got together. I called Twangin' Round, and they connected us with some millionaire friends that they have in Kentucky, and they allowed us access to his garage with all these fucking expensive ass muscle cars and multiple locations to shoot, and that's how we were able to knock out the film Runaway with Bredwin, and it was really cool. The very next day, Big Murph met us there, and they shot a video that they had done there, and yeah, I have high hopes for Country State of Mind. I hope we can get a dope video to that. I've reached out to Joe and see if we can do something cinematically with them guys. And I mean, I don't I don't like to work off tab. I really do it for royalties. So like, I don't charge for features. If I like you and I think you're an aspiring artist and you'll share our song, I'll work with you. And I don't do it based off views. Like, I don't have like a upchurch scale. Like, oh, you got fucking a big following, I want to work with you. But like, if you're an asshole, I don't want to work with you. I don't care how big your following is.
That's how
I don't
church
want to
is
share
too,
my
man.
following that I have with you. I don't care how big
That's how
yours
church
is.
is, bro. Church work with anybody if he fucks with them. That's what
Same. No,
people, yeah.
now, I was saying that on a level of like, because he has a good following, and like the same thing with like Kid Rock. If like Kid Rock's an asshole, he would instantly change my persona of ever wanting to work with him someday. I don't give a fuck if he was a childhood hero of mine or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would defeat the purpose of me ever wanting to make a song with him and ever put like effort into like promoting it, the whole 9 yards.
For sure.
So I'm being very selective nowadays with the people I'm working with. It doesn't matter if they got 30 followers or 300 million followers. Like, if I
That's
see
exactly
that they
how
have
I am,
drive,
bro. Like, yep. I got
you know what I mean?
basically right now I'm not in the financial position where I can cover 600 features for everybody. But if 600
Yeah.
people that are solid artists want to fuck with paying Dub 3030 for the mixing on my verse, then I'll do it for free. So that's one
Shout
thing I
out
always
Dub.
say. Like, I do it for free. I'm not making a penny off it. But if you want to pay Dub his 50 to 100 bucks to make my verse, to get a Hickerbilly verse, and I fuck with you, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? And then there's other people. There's other people who couldn't pay me $1,000 for a verse. I won't do it. And I've had those offers straight up, like in the last couple of weeks. They're like, oh, you do a song with this. What if they paid you? I'm like, if they're a bigger name and they want to pay me, there's obviously a scheme behind that. You can kiss my ass.
Well, it's a
That don't
buyout
even
on the
make
song.
sense. That don't even make sense. You know what? I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot deeper than that, but it's like people trying to pull some shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you wouldn't do a song with so and so? No. Well, what if you got paid to do the song with them? Still no. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I also feel like you're not going to bring that same energy to the table just because you got some money as you do if you actually want to work with somebody. Like,
Right. Facts.
I've only been paid for two.
Hey, your mic's doing
pieces,
that weird
and
shit
one of
out,
them
job.
I didn't like.
It's buzzing.
Yeah, your mic's buzzing,
Oh
man.
shit! Out my interweb.
But shit. Fucking man, it was something else I was gonna say. I forgot. Started smoking this blunt again.
It's all good. It gets the
You
best
grow
of us.
too, don't you, Artie? Is that
I
something
do.
you can talk about, or it's legal and all that shit? Yeah. That's I always gotta, you know what I mean? I was like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's why this is recorded. We could edit it out.
Nah,
because I'm so used to Michigan, so I'm like, I got fucking licenses. I can grow plants. Everybody can kiss my ass. I'll flaunt that shit. You know what I mean? And then I talk to other people. I'm like, yeah, I never know where. You know what I mean? How free it is everywhere else.
Yeah, and even years ago when it was still illegal in Minnesota, I had gone to many states and been exposed to states like California and whatnot that it was legal in. And after being down there even for a few days and coming back to a state that was illegal, I literally didn't give a fuck after that. Like, in my head, it was legal at that point. Like,
right.
I know I probably shouldn't have been living with that mentality, but I there's like a level
It
to
worked
shit
out.
of, like,
Fuck it.
don't give a fuckery. And
right, straight up.
I never got my medical card. I never got that offered when I was on probation. They wouldn't even allow me. It wasn't even medical.
See, that was one thing, was I had my medical card before I ever got on probation. So that was
That's
what
a good
saved me.
thing.
I have a
That
legitimate
saved your
reason.
ass.
Like, so here's the thing. I was on Oxycontins. I don't know how this doctor got away with it, but I was on Oxycontins,
Damn.
Norcos, and Tramadol, dog. They gave me 120 Tramadol a month, 60 Norcos a month, and 20 Oxycontins a month. Straight up. And I got off all those with a medical card when I was like 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So then I got on probation the first time when I was like 20. And it was like, hey, man, you know, like, that one was a little more of a fight because they were like, oh, you got a medical card. What's it for? We need to see your medical records. Because it was back when it first was fresh. And I was like, look, if you guys take this from me, I just go get all these pills again. Like, is that what you want? Like, I'll be on 4 drugs instead of 1. Which one you want? And then yeah. So then I got on probation the second time when I was a little bit older, and I'd already had my medical card for like 10 years for a legitimate reason that was documented through the court. And they were just like, yep, go for it. We don't even care. They drug tested me once a week minimum, sometimes twice a week randomly. I had to call in every day, same type of thing.
Sucks.
For 2 years straight, bro. And every time they called me in, I mean, they were testing for alcohol and everything, bro. And every time they call me in, I ain't pissing up for dirty for nothing but weed. You know what I mean? I quit everything and just smoke weed and fucking focus on my family.
You know, it grew me to my business I have now. I got knowledgeable in the coins, very knowledgeable in the coins. I created a business called the Coin Digger, and I created a protectable supply business around that for anything for the fucking supply industry. Rather you collect coins or stamps or fucking comic books or rocks or gems. We got like display stands and like albums and capsules for that shit. And I buy pallets of products for that shit, and I stock my own shelves. Like, I'm my own fucking janitor. I buy the shit, I stock the shit, I sell the shit, I ship the shit. And at the end of the day, you know, the money that I make off of it goes pretty much literally to keep the light bill on, pay obviously my mortgage and whatnot, but then it goes into my music. And you know, it's the business isn't doing as good as it was since COVID had happened. Everybody was shopping online and everything. It's dropped quite a bit. But I'm excited to drop this new album for y'all, and Country State of Mind is gonna be on there in June. We'll have our album release party, and might try to get that video filmed at the rave. We'll see.
That'd be fire.
Well, shit, we appreciate you.
Likewise.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you inviting me and fucking have a little interview session.
It's the Billy.
Yes, sir.
Billy Bullshit podcast. Yeah, it's a little bit different. That's why we do it recorded too, you know what I mean? So we can edit it up.
Sure.
Well, hell yeah, man. We appreciate you.
Much love, bro. I appreciate y'all having me. Shout out to the Billy podcast.
Billy Bullshit podcast. So
Billy
this is the
Bullshit
OG
podcast.
one. This is the OG one. We started this like almost a year ago, I think, dude. And we just kind of dick around with it. Whenever we got time, we record an episode, and then the live stream started taking off, and I was like, we got to get on this shit. We got to like blow this up too. You know what I mean? So,
nah, it's cool, man. I appreciate y'all having me, and shout out the Billy Bullshit podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming on, Naughty Northern.